Hi, welcome to Katrina Gets Crafty. I'm Katrina. I'm an environmental engineer living in Denver, and it's been a while since I've done a video, so I have a lot to get through. I don't know, it's just been super busy. I think the last time we talked, I was studying for the professional engineering exam, so that was a pretty stressful time. I took the exam, I did pass it, and I am now a licensed professional engineer, so that's super exciting. It was a lengthy process, but worth it because, now I have credibility to my name, or I have letters after my name, I guess you could say. All right, let's get into the knitting because that's the fun stuff. I am wearing a finished object that I finished. I think I talked about it in the last episode about wanting to start it. I hadn't started it yet. And this is the Open Edge Tee by Jessie Made Designs. And it is knit in the colorway Peoplemover. And I believe I got nylon sock for this, not classic sock. So nylon sock is an 80-20, 80 merino, 20% nylon. And I used almost 2 balls. I had probably a decent amount of the second ball left, so I could have made this a little bit oversized. I did block it a lot because I kind of wanted that oversized look. But I'm pretty pleased with how it ended up. Here's the bottom. And can't remember, I think it was pretty, I've knit this a while ago. It was pretty decent knit. Nothing came to mind with any issues I had. I was a little worried about the drop shoulder because I am a raglan girl, as you'll see with some of my knitting plans and a sweater or two that I have on my needles right now. So that's another reason why I wanted it to be oversized, because I want to make sure it actually did drop off my shoulders. I think the only complaint about this would be that the seam right here, the inside neck edge, does roll in, and even with blocking I couldn't get it to quite stay, but I think it still looks fine, and it's really comfortable. It is really airy, moves around, and the colorway is just gorgeous. It's got blues and purples, a little bit of white. It did have a little bit of pooling here. Here, I guess I can there we go. So you can kind of see it pooled a little bit, but not enough. Did I alternate skeins? Yes, I did. I think. Oh, I did. I definitely did. Here's where I alternated them. So I did alternate skeins, and it still spiraled a little bit, but I think if I hadn't, it would have been condensed and would have really gone around. So this was kind of spread out. And I don't mind the look of it. Yeah, it's noticeable, but it doesn't bother me. But yeah, here it is. I want to say I actually knit this maybe in a month or so. I don't think it took me that long. I know I knitted a lot while I was traveling for work, in the car, someone else was driving and I was just knitting in the back seat. So that helped, and I was knitting it around the time of my exam. Yes. So this is the first one. My second finished object, I also talked about starting, but I hadn't started it yet. And it is the Ingrid top by Gregoria Fibers. And I knit this in another Sewrella yarn. This is the winter tonal set that they come out with every season. And I can't remember if their tonals are in classic sock or nylon sock. I think it's classic sock. So that's just 100% superwash merino. And it comes with 10 different colors. And I really liked the colors. I saw someone else on Ravelry had also made this pattern with these colorways, so I knew that I was gonna like it. I did change up the order, just to an order that I liked better. And I was worried that I was gonna run out of yarn, and I technically did. So I got through all the colors fine, and it was this edging. So like you knit the whole tank top, you like knit the front, knit the back, join them together, join them in the round. And then once you're done knitting the body, you go back and you add all the details and edging. So I decided when I went back that I was going to start with the neck, and then I did the armholes. So I wanted to make sure at least that like all this matched. I figured if the bottom rib didn't match, or if I had to make it shorter or do something different, I wanted at least the top to be like all together. So for the bottom, I actually, I don't know if you can see because those colors are pretty close, but I actually used 3 different colors here. So you can see like the normal color as I came up over the edge, and then I used like a mauve-y, this like mauve color right here. And then I still ran out of yarn, and when I was sewing the folded over hem down, I had to use this like pink color. So I tried to use like the closest colors I could. So I think you'll be able to see that a little bit. So yeah, if you do want to use minis to knit this, you definitely can, but just be mindful that you might have to have like a different color at the bottom. I think I knit a size small. And I want to say I used the suggested needle size, even though the pattern calls for a sport weight. Yes, a sport weight yarn. I used fingering, and it came out okay. That was another reason why I was worried I might run out of yarn, because my yarn size was smaller. So I did enjoy knitting this pattern. I did not enjoy the finishings, the weaving in of the ends. This was the first pattern I've done that had so many stripes, and I think this sat off my needles just waiting to have the ends woven in for like a good 3 weeks. I finally just had to like tell myself like, no, you have to sit down, you have to finish this. Because like it is finished, you just have to weave in the ends and block it so that you can wear it. So that did take me a long time. That's not the pattern's fault, that was my fault, because the pattern uses one color. The only thing with the pattern is this neckline back here. It does kind of sag. You can kind of see. So like when it's taut, it doesn't sag, but it's not really taut when you're wearing it. So it does kind of like bow out a little bit. And I think that's because I might not have sized down in my needle size when I was doing the collar. So I would either do that, or instead of picking up, I think I picked up every single stitch, which is what the pattern called for, I'd probably skip a couple stitches. And if I had run out of yarn at the bottom before the folded over hem and I needed a little bit more, I probably would have gone back and redone the collar. But since I didn't run out, that was a lot of work. And I think technically the bottom hem is shorter than my folded collar. So I guess I ran out a little bit, but it's okay. It's manageable. I don't think I have anything else to say. Let's hold it up a little bit more. Okay. So those are my only 2 finished objects. I have one more that is so close to being done. I wanted to finish it before I filmed, but I just ended up doing too many errands today and not enough knitting. So I did not get it done. I cast this on as part of the Woolberry Summer Bash. That's kind of what it was inspired by. They had chosen, I think, a book and 5 books, 5 patterns that you can knit during the month of August, I believe. And so that's how I found this pattern, and it is the Juno top. Yes, there are strings hanging off of it everywhere. the Juno top. It is by Inez Oliveira, also known as Vert Knit. I knit her Milady's dress that I showed in the other episode before this. And I'm like just trying to make it so there's not so many strings. It's not as distracting, like trying to tuck them in. This is knit in berry linen from Woolberry Fiber Co. And that is a 50% alpaca, 25% linen, and 25% silk blend. It's 438 yards, and it's in the colorway Seashore. Woolberry did a limited release of the berry linen, and I grabbed 2 skeins. And as you can see, all I have left to do is the scalloped edging. I've got it just on this side, so I have to do it in the middle and then on the other arm. And the edging is applied with crochet. So I'm also not the best at crochet just because I don't really crochet. So it's taking me a little bit longer than I would have liked. This yarn I was worried about, especially for this pattern, that you wouldn't be able to see the stitch definition. I'll show it up close. But I think the stitch definition comes out really well. I have blocked like the body. Technically I haven't blocked the sleeves, but I don't think they'll change much. And I really, really love this colorway, Seashore. I think it's really beautiful. So yeah, I was worried about if this fabric, even though there's linen and silk in it, the alpaca kind of just threw me off, and I was like, is it like a summer garment? Like, can I wear it in the summer? Is it gonna get hot? Just because it is pretty fuzzy. And like, I think you can be able to see kind of like, there's like a little bit of a halo. So yeah, I was unsure, and I think I like looked at the swatch a bunch. I tried to look at like other people knitting with like a similar blend to see how it shows up. But after blocking, I think you can really see the stitch pattern, and I really do like it. It's very soft. I guess a little rustic because of that linen that kind of comes through and sticks out, but I don't know. I don't seem to mind it. I think it'll be nice to wear. I'm really excited to wear this. It is starting to get cold, so I would like to finish this like in the next week, so that maybe I can wear it. I also go to Florida for the holidays, so I'm sure it'll be hot enough and I can bring it with me and wear it all the time down there. And then I haven't decided if I'm gonna do the scallops on the bottom. I guess I'll have to decide if I'll wear this mostly tucked in or tucked out, because I feel like if I'm gonna wear it tucked out, the scalloped edge on the bottom would be really pretty. But if I'm gonna wear it tucked in, then it doesn't matter. I used exactly 1 skein for the whole tank top, and I had to wind up the second skein so that I could do the scalloped edging. So I even did consider leaving it without the scalloped edging, but it just, I mean, it looks very beautiful, but the scalloped edging just like adds a whole other element to this top that I think I wouldn't be doing the pattern justice if I left it just like plain like this. So I'm very close to finishing. I'm very excited about it. I think this pattern was straightforward. There are some German short rows around the bust to get some bust shaping. I know some people who've knit the tank top without it. There is also in this pattern, I think there are 3 different ways you can knit this top. This is the like loose non-fitted way. Then there's like a fitted version that's just kind of like a tube top with the bust shaping. And then there is the like crop top, I guess, shirt, which includes that like tube top, but then it adds on sleeves. So it's kind of like an off the shoulder. It comes like, it's like straight across here. And then with that version, you add like the scallops all across, and it looks really pretty. But I thought for this yarn, I think this is a good option because it's kind of still fitted. Like I've tried it on. It's still a little fitted, like it molds to my body a bit, but it's not like tightly fit. It kind of just like goes with my curves, but it's not like attached to my skin, I guess. And I like that because I think that'll mean it's like a little bit breathable, you know, it moves around. I don't have to worry that it's too tight. So it should be a good summer knit. And this is my last summer knit of the year. I had a couple more I wanted to get to and I didn't. I'll actually talk a little bit about some summer knits for next year when I show you some yarn that I got. But yeah, this is the last one, so I want to finish it hopefully in the next week or so. All right, another work in progress. I was working on this in my last episode too. I did not get it done in time for my trip to Florida in May to give to my grandmother. So my goal is to have it done by Thanksgiving, and I think I will get there because I am almost done with the body. I just have to do the ribbing at the bottom. And I'll have to put this on for you guys because I actually tried it on and I posted it to my Instagram story, which if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Katrina Gets Crafty. And I posted it on my Instagram story and like, look at this. Isn't it gorgeous? Like, and this is not blocked, so it'll like loosen up a little bit. It might be a bit big for my grandmother, but I think she'll be able to layer pieces underneath it. So yeah, I probably have, I don't know, about this much, like an inch and a half on the bottom to do. And here you can see like, oops, just move my whole chair, move that back. So you can see it's like, here's my hip. It's like another inch. It'll be a pretty good length for a cardigan. And then yeah, I have to do the sleeves, which I actually did talk to my mom about the sleeves. I have like not unusually long arms, but my arms are longer, and I think they're definitely longer than my grandma's. So I don't know if I'm gonna knit them to my arm length and then my grandma can always roll them, or if I'm gonna leave it unfinished for when I go home for Thanksgiving, have her try it on, and then I can like finish, like just add the cuff where she needs it. So I haven't decided. Sorry, I did not talk about at all about the name of this. This is the Whitmore cardigan, and this is by Amy Loudon. I'm knitting it in Berroco Vintage because I wanted it to be machine washable. This color is 5106, and this yarn is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. So you're still supposed to lay flat to dry, and I'm hoping that she does that, but if she doesn't, I think it should still be okay. It might felt a little, but it's still a really beautiful piece. So I'm excited to finish the body of this. I've been working on it since the beginning of summer. Ooh. And one thing I do like about this is that the button band is worked as you work the rest of the body. So that means I don't have to go back and pick up stitches. The only thing that makes it a little annoying is that it's two different sizes. So you have like a needle. It's a little bit harder to like take with you because you're like, oh, I have to make sure I have like the extra needle so that you can actually knit it. Because you need, 3 double pointed needles and 2 stay in the cardigan. Uh-oh. Oops, just dropped a stitch. That is okay. Hold on. There, I'll fix that in a minute. Another problem I ran into is I know I didn't follow the pattern for the size of the ribbing needle, like the needle size, and then same for like the top ribbing. And now that I'm doing the bottom ribbing, I have no idea what needle size I used for the top. So I'm doing this in a 3.25 millimeter needle, which is a US 3. And I cannot remember if I knit this also in a US 3 or if I knit it in a US 4. And I'm leaning towards US 4 because I think it is, I can't tell if it's more stretched out just because it has like the pattern underneath it, or if it's more stretched out because I used a bigger needle. So I'm gonna try it with the 4. I'll do a few rows, and then if it looks horrible and like completely unlike the top up here, I'll switch back to a 3. I have both, so that's why I know I could use both, and I could have used both. My last work in progress is, now, sorry, real quick. This one's a circular yoke, which I've never done before, but I think it's coming out really nicely. So that's the construction, circular yoke, and then adding sleeves. This next one is a raglan. Show you what I have. So you can see I have it not on needles because it is the same needle size as the Whitmore cardigan. And I have a nice set of metal interchangeables. So I've just been like switching them back and forth for the projects. So I like, when I cast this on, I stole them from the cardigan and I was like, okay, you can keep working on this until you finish one ball of yarn. And that's exactly what I did. So this is going to be the Bibliophile by Alicia Plummer, also known as Two Little Plums. And the yarn is Cookies and Cream by Explorer Knits and Fibers. And it is coming so lovely. It looks so good. This is actually in the Cashmere Caverns sock base. It is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and it's 435 yards. And I used 1 ball, so I've knit 435 yards so far. This is going to be, or it's supposed to be a turtleneck, but I haven't decided on the neckline yet. So what I'm gonna do next, now that I finished 1 skein of yarn, I only have 3. So I'm gonna go back, or instead of like continuing here, I'm gonna go and do the arms first, and then the body, and then, because I don't know also like how long I want it. So arms, then the body, and then I'll figure out, one, if I have enough yarn to do the turtleneck, or even if I want to do the turtleneck. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, but I am just in love with this fabric. I love raglans. I love knitting them. I think they're pretty intuitive. They're one of the easier like sweater constructions in my opinion, just because there's no seaming, which I love. The only thing that like you can have difficulty is with like the underarm stitches with holes there, but there are a couple tricks to kind of help prevent that. So yeah, I've been really loving it. And I can't wait to see this one done. Honestly, the Whitmore cardigan, after I finish the ribbing, I might switch back to this guy before I add the sleeves to that, because I want to wear this so badly. And I have until November, like mid-November. So like a good, like almost 2 months until I have to finish the Whitmore cardigan. So, yep, here's the Bibliophile. Oh, I'm slowly losing light. I did try, daylight savings is upon us. Not really, I guess that's not till November. I lied. But it is slowly getting darker earlier, and I'm not used to that, so I thought I was gonna have the light for longer. So hopefully you can see. Hopefully you can see this beautiful colorway before I put it down. Okay, next I have acquisitions and plans, fall knitting plans, fall and winter. I feel like when it comes to knitting, I kind of combine fall and winter together. And then like spring and summer, I kind of combine together, even though, you know, fall and spring, it's a little chillier, but that's, in knitting world, there's only 2 seasons. Okay, so I'm gonna start going through some of my yarn acquisitions, and then I'll also talk about plans I have for it, and then if it's like a fall plan or just an overall plan for the yarn. So first up, I have this lovely sock yarn, and it is in Aspen Grove and Pine Needle. So this one's Aspen Grove and this one's Pine Needle. It's by Viking Fiber Company, and it is the Torrig socks. Oh my gosh, Torrig sock set. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. This is 463 yards. This is 92 yards. So I've decided, and you'll notice with a lot of these acquisitions, I'll hold it over here just not to wash out my face. I've decided that I am gonna start knitting socks. I bought needles a while ago to start knitting socks, and I still have yet to start a pair, but that is gonna change like this week, you'll see. So this is gonna be socks. As you can see, the white yarn has like green and black speckles in it. There we go. Green and black speckles. And then this is just kind of like a dark green that I think will like bring out some of the green in the speckled yarn. So I'm really excited to see what this looks like knit up. And I think I'll make like the cuff, the heel, and the toe if I have enough in this color. And then obviously the sock body will be in this nice big color. Another Viking fiber company yarn I have that is also going to be socks is this color here. This was actually a one-of-a-kind skein, so it doesn't have a name, but it is in Halmstad fingering, which is 100% superwash merino, and it's 400 yards. And I really want to make a pair of, I think, cabled socks. And I've never done cables, so I think on a sock would be like a perfect way to start. So that's kind of my idea. This is like a red, mostly red, like a dusty red almost, with like a hint of maybe burnt orange or almost like a brick color. Kind of like get the light on it. So it's really pretty and it's super soft. And yeah, I'm gonna make some really nice cabled socks. Nothing else on that one. Also in the sulk realm, we'll just go through what I got and then I'm gonna turn into socks. I actually just went to Colorful Yarn Shop today and picked up 2 different skeins from Explore Knits and Fibers from the, what was this? The National Park collection. I don't know how, but somehow I missed the pre-order for it, but because, I think maybe because they're a Florida dyer, Explore Knits and Fibers, that's why Colorful Yarn, not Florida, oh my gosh, Colorado. That's why Colorful Yarn Shop gets them. I don't know, they have a deal. So Colorful Yarn Shop usually has Explore Knits and Fibers like newest collection, probably after everyone else receives it, but if you ever forget to get a skein, you can check out their website because they usually post on their website when it's live for people who don't come into the store, like don't live nearby. But this one is Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's in Denali sock. So it's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it is 400 yards. So I got this one. And then I also got, and I had them cake up, oops, this colorway, because I'm gonna start knitting this into a pair of socks. And this one is Rocky Mountain National Park, same exact base as the other one, so I'm not gonna go through it again. This one has like greens and blues and golds, kind of like a gold color, like not really green, not really brown, it's more like gold. That's what I really liked about it. There, maybe you can see it like, kind of like that. So I'm going to knit, as my first pair of socks, the I'm So Basic socks. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. I think it looks very similar to the vanilla socks that come in like, they have a pattern for like circular needles, double pointed needles, magic loop. I thought they were very similar, except this one's a free pattern and they also have smaller sizes. So I'm excited to try it. Yeah, it's by Summer Lee. And it looks like it has, I think it's called a slip stitch heel. which seems to be a very common heel, like, I don't know, heel configuration, is that what it's called? Heel option. And then I'm not entirely sure what the toe is called, what it looks like, but I would recommend this pattern, I think. I don't know. Well, I'll let you know. I'm gonna try it. It seems like a pretty good pattern, and it's knit on US 1. I have no idea what that is in millimeters, but it's probably pretty tiny. And I bought those a while ago, and now I'm finally putting them to use. I did buy the 9-inch circulars, so I'm gonna try and do it that way and see how it is, because I feel like the other like double pointed or magic loop, I don't know, I feel like I would still get like a little bit of a run down the sock. So I'm gonna try it on the 9-inch circulars and see if my hands can manage that. I'm going on a trip to Texas for work. It's gonna be a short trip, like literally staying one night, like not even there 24 hours, maybe just over 24 hours. But I brought this to knit while I am on the plane. And then we also have a 3.5-hour car ride. So if I'm not driving, I might be able to knit on these. And I'm hoping that it'll be easy and somewhat intuitive. Next for acquisitions, I guess I'll talk about the non-fall stuff first, and then we'll get into like the rest of the fall knitting plans. So, I guess I got an order from Sewrella, and I ordered, I think as part of their, oh, what do they call it? So the California collection or the West Coast collection, maybe? I'm not sure. But this is Monterey, and I just had to have it. It is this beautiful blue green, like really deep, almost like a teal color. I got it in nylon sock, which is 80% merino, 20% superwash, 400 yards. And I'm going to use it. Sorry, I'm not holding this up very well. So that's what it looks like. Super soft. I think it's the same as this shirt. So that's why I knew I only needed 2 skeins to knit a shirt. And I actually have this shirt pattern, and I've been looking for like a good yarn for it. And it is the Spruce, which is a t-shirt that has little like tree designs in it. And it looks like it's just made maybe with yarn overs is my guess. And it's by Alicia Plummer. It's a fingering weight pattern, and it's worked flat. So that's not my, I don't know, not my favorite, not my cup of tea, but I already have the pattern, and I think that this color, even though it's not like quite green, I think this color will really add to like the little spruce trees, because that's kind of what they remind me. I don't know if they really look like spruce trees, but they definitely look like little trees. And even though this was more of like Monterey, makes me think of like, well, one, the Monterey Bay, but also the Monterey Aquarium, which if you've ever looked at their live feed, I would highly recommend. They have otters, and you can watch them like get fed and stuff. If you like, make sure you watch it at the right time. I got a little bit of obsessed like for a couple weeks where I watched a lot of their feedings. But yes, I'm very excited. So when I put in an order for this, I also put in an order for one of their summer colorways. And this is Pampas, like pampas grass, there we go. And this is in silk sock. So it is 50% superwash merino, 50% silk, and it is 438 yards. So the reason I got this is because last year I ordered one of their, what do they call it? Like oopsies bundle. And it came with 4 colors, all in silk sock. And I had thought one of the colors, because they were 4 different colors, and I realized I don't like stripes that much after knitting, after knitting this. I'm like, I cannot, stripes are a no-go for a while. And the colors are really pretty, but also striped. It was just kind of hard to like look at, or like there wasn't a super good contrast or like color combination. So I thought one of the colors was Pompous because I'm pretty sure the other three are part of the summer tonal collection. However, I was wrong. And the one I have is not Pompous. It was actually, instead of being from the summer tonals, it was from one of the collections that they had last summer when I bought the yarn. So as you can see, these are two different colors, so I cannot use them together. I mean, that's not true because I plan on using them together. I believe what I'm going to do is hold them double. So instead of a fingering weight, gauge, I can knit using like a DK weight gauge is what I'm thinking if I hold it double. And what I am thinking for these is either, oh my goodness, is either the Vegas top by Suzanne Mueller or the Thea top, which is also by Suzanne Mueller. The Vegas top is DK and the Vegas top is worsted. But I think marling these together will be really pretty because they're just both like kind of like a nice green color. But I think it'll also be like the Pompous is neutral enough that it'll be like a good neutral piece that I can wear like to work, around. And let me tell you, this silk sock is so soft. I am curious to see how it wears and if it stretches at all, because that would be my only concern, is if it would stretch out a lot. But I do have 3 other skeins of silk sock not in my hand that I have to figure out what to do, and they're all only 438 yards, which is like, since they're all different colors, it makes it a little bit difficult. So I think I am gonna have to stripe them, or if I like this color combination and I like the pattern, I might knit another one, or maybe I'll do the Vegas top with one color combo, and then I have like 2 blues that I think would look pretty marled, and maybe I'll do like the Thea top with that one, like kind of vary it up. So I don't know, but this will be on my needles in the spring, so not anytime soon, but yeah, this was a new acquisition. Okay, so another acquisition. Now we're just into the fall stuff. So that was more of like that t-shirt, that tank top are both gonna be probably some of the first things I cast on once the weather gets warmer. So like in another 6 months, so way down the line. So I'll do this one. So after I found out I passed my professional engineering exam, I celebrated at the yarn store, and I got a bunch of balls of Knitting for Olive soft silk mohair in the colorway Dusty Artichoke. And it is so, so pretty. I had the lady help me. I was between this and like a kind of like jeans color. I can't remember what that color was, but yeah, as you can see, it's super pretty. So my fall winter knitting plans for this is to make a cardigan. My friend for my birthday got me a couple patterns, and one of the patterns was for the Cirrus cardigan by Earthworm Knits. I think the weight is like maybe an Aran weight, but I think I can achieve it by holding this double, is my guess. I got 8 balls of this yarn. And I'm hoping that's enough. If not, I'll have to go back and like hope they have I don't know if it'll still be from like the same batch, but hopefully they would have more. So the Cirrus cardigan, my only concern about it and what I'm gonna try to do to mod it is I might knit on a smaller gauge, would be number 1. The pattern calls for it to be knit on US 10.5 size needles. And then you also use US 17 to like, because it has a couple purl rows and that's supposed to pop with the US 17 sized needles, like for those pearl rows. But I don't think I'm gonna switch the needle size, and I might do more of like maybe a US 10 or 9. I don't know, I'll have to see how it knits up. So I want it like oversized, but that one, as the pattern is shown, is super oversized. And then I'm also gonna try and convert it into a raglan because it is a drop shoulder. And I don't know, we'll see how that goes, if it's easy enough to convert. If not, I will leave it a drop shoulder, and it has kind of like these puffy sleeves, and I might just like not pick up as many stitches so like the sleeve doesn't puff out from the body of the cardigan, because that is, I think one reason why I don't like drop shoulders is because you can see like the transition between like where the shoulder seam is so much. So if I don't over pick up and like I just kind of like keep it straight, I think that could work. And then I'm also gonna add a button band, depending on if I have enough yarn and how it's looking. Or if I do a raglan, I might incorporate the button band into the pattern and kind of like base it off of the Whitmore cardigan a little bit, since I have been working on this and am familiar with the construction, although this is a circular yoke, so that's not gonna help me converting the Cirrus cardigan into a raglan. But the idea is there. I'm excited. I really love this color. I think it's gonna be great to like throw on top of like a t-shirt, tank top, maybe even a turtleneck if it's really cold. And then it'll just be a good transitional piece too from, you know, I think it'll probably get more wear in like the fall and the spring than in the winter time, but I'm excited to add it to my wardrobe. Last acquisition. See, it's been so long that I really accumulated a lot of yarn. I feel like I don't usually buy that much yarn, but I don't know. I do have another order, like pre-order. I've been trying to save money this year, and it's going okay-ish. I need to stop buying so much yarn, but that is neither here nor there. Okay, the last one I have is Woolberry Fiber Co., and it is in the colorway Sweatshirt. And I was so excited. She released this as a, like one of her monthly colorways, a part of her, oh, what is it called? Like, I can't think of it. Monthly club. So it's kind of like exclusive. You have to buy into it. You have to get yarn every month, and it's a set rate. So it's $40 a month, and that includes one skein of yarn. But I'm not a part of that. So when I saw this color on like a part of that month's like colorway release for the club, I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. It looks so pretty. However, she added it to, what collection was that? Oh my goodness. I can't remember the name. It was, oh, the Caboose collection. I was gonna call it Animal Butts. No, the Caboose collection. That's way better. I was like, I know it's a cute name. And this was one of the tonals that she brought into that collection. So I didn't buy any actual cabooses, even though they were very cute, but I had my eye on this when it came out earlier this year. So when I saw it, I was like, okay, I'm not allowed to buy any other yarn. I'm just gonna get the one that I know I've had my eye on. So I got this in Berry Sport, which is 100% superwash merino, and it's 328 yards. And when I buy yarn, I do try to have a pattern in mind, because if I don't have a pattern in mind, it's just going to sit where I put all my yarn and it's gonna look pretty, because I do have some yarn like that. So I try not to buy yarn anymore unless I have an idea. So this yarn is going to become the Elizabeth blouse by Petite Knit. It is a raglan style. It is knit in sport weight yarn, and it has like a really pretty color. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna have a picture, don't worry. And I think it's just gonna be a really nice basic sweater. it'll go with everything because it's just gonna be this sweatshirt gray. And I'm like, this is called sweatshirt, so it has to be some type of sweater, some type of basic. I was also, when I bought this, like kind of over summer patterns, and like not getting frustrated with summer patterns, but I think like the silk yarn, like I was getting overwhelmed with how much silk yarn I have, and I was like, I just want yarn for a sweater because I cannot deal with all this like summer materials right now. So yeah, that's what this is gonna be, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. But before I cast this on, I have, aside from what like my works in progress already, I have one other sweater I want to cast on before this. And that is, I showed it last time, and that is going to be knit on Pasley Knits Cloud Base in the colorway Artemis. And it looks like this. As soon as I got this yarn, I've been like waiting patiently. I got this, I feel like at the very start of like spring, summer. So I like, oh, that's not focusing, but you can kind of see the colors. So that's the yarn, that's what it looks like. And yeah, as soon as I got this, I wanted to cast it on immediately. That's why it's swatched. And I refrained from actually casting on the sweater. So I am thinking I'm gonna do a mashup between the Yoon sweater by November Knits and the Wednesday sweater by Petite Knit. The reason I'm doing a mashup is because I really do like the Wednesday sweater by Petite Knit. However, it's a drop shoulder and it's not a raglan. And I feel like it's not as flattering on me. That's why I was excited to try this out, because one, I knew I would be able to see it pretty quickly because it's, you know, not a full sweater. So like I'd be able to see what it looked like. And I mean, I don't mind it here, but I feel like on a sweater, I don't know. So I still need to figure out if I am gonna mash up the two or if I'm just gonna do one or the other. But I feel like if I do the Yoon sweater, even if I do like the same color and everything, I think, because it has a pretty high split, like split hem, so I think I would still do like the bottom of the Wednesday sweater, just because I want it to like cover my body. I don't want like the split to be too far up and then you can like see my stomach and it's cold and it's not very warm. Like this is gonna be a very warm, maybe it won't be warm, but I feel like it's just gonna be a really nice to put on. And I do also need to start looking for, I wanna get a couple long sleeves that I can like layer under some of these sweaters. So if I feel like the fabric is annoying me, I can like have other ways to wear it. But so far I haven't been annoyed by any of the fabrics. Like this is really soft. I think, yeah, so I haven't fully decided, and that's why I haven't cast this one on yet. That's why I started with the bibliophile, because I had already bought that pattern, and I already had all the yarn caked up. This one I only have one skein caked up so far, just so I can knit the little swatch guy. So yeah, I'm still debating, because I do like the Yoon sweater, but I like the fact that the Wednesday sweater has a turtleneck. And I don't know if I would necessarily go for like the roll over turtleneck, but like I could make it more turtlenecky. However, I think with the Yoon sweater, the neckline is done, because it's a folded over collar, so that is done at the start, at the beginning. And I would have to figure out how to mod that. I don't know. So that is where I'm at. I guess I could completely just ignore the folded over and then just start for, like, just skip ahead, figure out how many stitches I need, cast those on, and place my raglan stitches and just do the raglan, and then I could come back and add on the neckline. I think that would work. So yeah, I haven't bought either pattern yet, so what I'm basing it off of is just how it looks, and also like people's progress photos of the patterns, but I don't know if that's exactly true. I am really excited. So this will be my next cast on after I finish either the Whitmore cardigan or the Bibliophile, or I might just cast it on after I finish that tank top, because although I'm doing socks, so I'll still have 3 works in progress. So this would be number 4 if I do it before I finish something else, but we'll see how I'm feeling. I think if I start to get bored of the other 2 or start to see myself like slowing down and stopping knitting, I might be like, ooh, let me go cast this on. Because that's what happened after I finished this shirt. I think I went like a month without knitting. So I'm gonna try to avoid that, especially because I do have a lot of stuff. I'm gonna keep knitting some socks and hats for presents. So I need to like continue my momentum of knitting. But that's also another reason why I shouldn't cast this on until I finished one of my sweaters, because I'm gonna have other gift knitting to do, but we'll see. I just keep hinting at this one because I'm so excited. I just want to wear it. Literally, I just want to wear this. It is so soft. So, okay. Well, that is all my fall winter plans so far. I do have more yarn if I somehow need to knit more sweaters. I definitely can. I also, once I get it, I think I'm supposed to get it maybe the beginning of November. I have some more yarn that I'm super excited about, and I have some sweaters planned for that yarn as well. So I guess I could, if I finish all of this stuff, it probably won't be before that yarn gets in. So I will be sharing that yarn and then telling you about the patterns I have planned for it, and those are more sweaters. So maybe I'll be knitting those the end/beginning of next year. Well, thanks for bearing with me. Hopefully you can still see me and it wasn't too distracting with losing this light. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks for spending some time with me. Bye.